I'm going to read a big book called Barge Cat. I see some cats there. I see a big cat and some little kittens. Barge Cat and her kittens lived on one of the old barges which lay by the bank of the Muddy Dip River. The barge didn't move up and down the river anymore. It just sat and got rusty. See the kitty cats? This is Barge Cat with her family, Skid and Little and Bounce, on their barge by the bank of the river. One night, the sky grew inky blue. Then came thunder and lightning and rain. It rained and it rained and it rained. It seemed it just couldn't rain anymore, but it did. Skid and Bounce and Little were scared. They huddled close to Barge Cat on their barge by the bank of the river. Oh, look at all that water. They look very worried. Mama looks very worried. Things swept by on the river. The water rose and it rose and it rose. It was a flood. It seemed that the water just couldn't rise anymore, but it did. The three kittens were very frightened. Barge Cat carried them one by one up onto the roof of the barge. She hoped that they'd be safe there on their barge by the bank of the river. The old barge creaked and groaned on the water as the water swirled around it. Then it stirred and it shifted. Suddenly it moved out onto the river and started to sink. Oh dear. Barge Cat and her kittens were swept away by the water. Barge Cat clung to a plank and tried to keep her three kittens safe. She held Bounce by the neck and Skid and Little Claude onto her back. They were soaking wet and she was afraid they would drown. Barge Cat was terrified, and so were her kittens. What could Barge Cat do? Barge Cat and her kittens swept by the branches of a huge fallen tree hanging out over the river. Barge Cat reached out desperately and scrambled up on a branch, but Little couldn't hold on and fell back into the water. He screeched for Barge Cat and the cold water began to close over his head. Barge Cat quickly grabbed Little as he was going under the water and pulled him safely out of the river. Barge Cat and her kittens crouched in the tree as the water flowed around them. The fields by the river were flooded, and there was water everywhere. Barge Cat and her kittens stayed there in the tree until the rain stopped. They huddled together for warmth. Then the floodwaters went slowly down. Soon there were fields again. They could see the banks of the river. It's kind of a cool picture of them all. That's how Barge Cat saved her kittens. Now, a long time has gone by since the flood. Barge Cat has moved to one of the other old rusty barges that lay by the bank of the Muddy Dip River. She still lives there, but Barge Cat's kittens are grown cats now. Can you tell which cat was which kitten? head. What about this one? Little. Bounce. The end.